Have I got something for you? I was looking at some material that I've been putting together over the last couple of years, and I came across 3 resources that are extraordinary. And the reason why I'm urgent about these right now is because I just came from a Wealth Builders seminar weekend, and I noticed so many of the folks that are friends of mine that track with my message in the 7 Mountains are sensing during this period of Trump that we're in a financial, it's like Joseph's period when you need to build the silos financially. We do not know how long these silos are going to be there. We're looking at Bernie Sanders on the horizon with an army of aggressive, radical, academically trained socialists because 42% of our professors are Marxists. Did you know that? And so America is under siege. Satan wants to take the economic engine and gut it out of this country. And the influence of America, obviously, is global. So I have an urgency for you to be able to move to the accelerator zone in terms of the ability to develop wealth during the period of stability that we have right now, knowing that there's shaking coming in 2020. So in the archives, I said my most powerful tools that are working right now for people are right here, the 8 keys to discovering and mastering your niche market. Because what we've noticed is that with the digital economy, literally businesses change its model. We're no longer working with television advertising and billboards and newspapers and print media. It's digital. Therefore, discovering and mastering a niche has never been, there's never been a greater opportunity moment for people that have never been in business to be able to say, but I have a passion for this subject. I have a passion for a certain area of expertise. I love communicating it. I believe I can help people. And then all that you really need to do is you need to begin to work on the strategy. So anyway, I'm stumbling over myself in enthusiasm because I'm looking at material. Kiyosaki, for instance, had inspired me with a great quote. He said, to obtain financial freedom, you either have to own a business or be an investor, and preferably both. I'm saying you could start a business even though you don't have any experience in the digital space. Nobody does. It's like the wild, wild west. We're all jumping in right now. I'm doing this on an iPhone right now. So what you might need is a process, a step-by-step process that'll take you into the discovery of what your niche really is. What's the message that God put in your heart? What is it that you're really called to communicate to other people? What are the tools, the inexpensive tools that you need in order to start and launch this new career, this new business of communicating messages that you can share as a researcher, as a role model, or as a retailer? And all of the steps that are necessary are within, keys. The keys. Let me just give you the keys right now. I'll tell you what the keys are. Can't go into all the content because of limited time. It's the new big picture in digital marketing, the 7 Mountains, and what's happening globally. It's how to start and what this new career is, what this new business silo is within the mountain world. It's identifying the target market that's for you. It's identifying the specific niche in that market where you can have mastery and stand out and people would be interested in your perspective. It's to get inside the mind of the person that you're trying to reach. It's positioning yourself strategically, and it's creating that winning recipe so that you don't sound salesy, but you're able to put the content, resources, information out there. It's just so cool. Like, look at this. We got graphics. I'm a visual person, right? So this is a step. This is a guide. This is like a guide for people like me that want to have, in a sense, a fun, stimulating way of learning a new field. And what I'm saying is now is the moment to do it. And you're going to see the system process for a fast-track 3-part formula for naming a product, finding your market, and being able to put it out there. And I'm saying with urgency, now is when there's harvest opportunity for you to find your niche and go there. But then we have another product, which is so powerful, 60 minutes of training with about, this is 30, 40 individual slides on what the strategies are for social media, the various silos of media from Pinterest to Facebook to Instagram to Google, LinkedIn. And here's the interesting thing. You don't have to be an expert. I do most of my stuff right there in Facebook and just a few platforms. Now YouTube came up. But notice this. It's like, this is like the power Parthenon. This is like, if you were to look at the stability of that structure, it's going to last all these thousands of years because of all those pillars. But what happens if you only got one pillar that you're relying on? If it's just Facebook, or if it's just, your email list, it's not enough. So we list out what one of my mentors, Jay Abraham, called the Power Parthenon Principle, which is all the areas of advertising, or all of the areas of social media, or all of the areas of monetizing. For instance, this is a PowerPoint that we put together for people in the profession of teaching, training, communicating. What are the different ways that you can reach your audience? And each of these becomes part of your business concept. Speaking, seminars, consulting, digital products, masterminds, coaching, books. And it's just, I love this. I love the fact that it's possible now for someone who has an idea to be able to take the idea and literally create a business from a concept. It's a rare moment. That's the digital world we live in. And then for a friend of mine, I sat down and did a $1 million business plan on a napkin. And I wrote it in. I'm going to show you what that is. How to take those pillars, and in this case, just with speaking and coaching and consulting, how to build that $1 million, business. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to have $1 million business. What difference would it make if you just had $1,000 a month coming in that you could then invest or work on retirement or something like that? But that's why I put these together. Then we talk about the ladder of success, the very steps that go into this. I have to surround myself with people that love this because I'm a motivated teacher. And so part of the thing is, you do what you love to do. I just love giving ideas away. I love the stimulus of being able to talk, inspire, strengthen, and teach, because that's part of my DNA. It's part of my bloodline, actually, to be able to be a teacher. But I've got people around me that understand these things, and I get them, and I love them, and because I'm a teacher, right? So I love to teach it. So we put the material there for you, like 37 pages of this, an hour, and 50 slides of that. And one more thing I want to show you. My team that's called to do that part put together the ultimate online tool guide, because once again, everything you need, 101 tools are right at your fingertips, resources to build a successful brand or business. Let's say that you're having a problem with coming up with artwork, or a problem coming up with the product design, or if you're having a problem coming up with the advertising, or if you're having a problem with online editing, like I'm doing this right now on an app called Camtasia for like $90 or something. I got my own little studio here, and we'll be able to edit and put pictures in. And I'm doing this thing on a $90 production budget. But in terms of the software, we show you how to access flowchart tools, diagrams. If you need customer support, who's going to take the calls for you? How are you going to process it? How are you going to do credit cards? And let's say you have 2 or 3 people that are going to be working for you, because this is going to grow. You do the teaching and they do some other part. Well, how are you going to know that people are actually doing what you're paying them to do? There's online tools for actually being able to run the online business, and team collaboration, Slack, Skype, Google Talk, HipChat, Yammer. And once again, my team were the geniuses that put this together. And Mercedes Sparks, who's with her background with information and digital educational marketing, she just literally was able to update this and put it out there so that you guys can get a hold of the tools. For instance, transcriptions can be made into ebooks. Ebooks can be turned into something that you could sell. Just stock footage. I don't want to get lost in the sauce here, but you've got everything you need for the business model in the ultimate 101 tools and resource kit. Plus training on social media and how to put together. I'm telling you, man, this is like, it's not an exaggeration to say that to be able to do this, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars of training in different people that are working around me whose brains were picked to say, how do you actually do this stuff? Oh, I want to show you one thing before we go. I'm particularly proud of this because I made one contribution. You see that there? It's time to take your mountain. And the goal is to increase your preeminence so that you're standing out at the top of your profession. But where do you start? You start by getting clear on what your message is for this next season. What is it that you want to share? What is the solution that you bring? What is the problem that you solve? And for who do you solve it? Find your tribe and build your audience. I've got words hidden behind here. You have to find your tribe. Everyone has a tribe, and they're natural leaders for the tribe that they've got. And we all have many tribes. How do you monetize your message? How do you do it with integrity? And you know what's interesting? I want to say something. Because for me as a teacher, I love to give things away for free. Freely you receive, freely give. That's a good way to be broke your whole life if you never make a profit, because you're always feeling guilty about it. But you see, some of us do, like the preaching stuff is constantly freely receive, freely give. But I remember, and I was going through here, and I was reading some notes, and I said, oh my gosh, I remember the Lord told me that. I remember one point when I was in the marketplace, and I was trying to do freely receive, freely give. And they called me to speak for a special event. And I thought I was going to be really generous, and I dropped my price because I wanted to make it as cheap as possible. And I'll never forget the guy on the other end of the phone say, excuse me, we were told you were an A-level speaker. I said, well, thank you. I am, because now you don't understand. Mike Huckabee was our first choice, and he's $25,000 for a keynote. The price that you're quoting is not a price for an A-level speaker. That was my wake-up call in terms of I'm moving from the church mountain in the nonprofit to the business mountain. I have to think differently about finances. And then I was remembering how I was asking the Lord, we were running into a financial problem, and I was sowing, and it wasn't like I wasn't giving, because we were giving. And then the Lord spoke to me. He said, your problem is that you're not putting grain in the storehouse like Joseph and selling the grain where you're supposed to. And that was when I realized the business tools, the consulting tools, the psychology tools, those tools need to be in the business model, and that's the greenery. But I will share with you that if you sense that God wants you to prosper and you're not quite sure what you're supposed to do, I will share with you the secrets of being able to build the business the way that I've seen the people around me help build the business aspects that we have to work with. The tool guide, the PowerPoints, and the PDF that I'm encouraging you to print all this out like I've done and work through this so that you start to develop your niche strategy. And it's just one of the most exciting things you could possibly do is to get clear in your message, get clear in your audience. Because for people like us, I say you and me, we're all in the business of persuasion. And right now there's a battle of ideas going on, and I want to see you win, and you should be preeminent at the top of your mountain. All right. So what you want to do is you want to go, oh, by the way, those of you that are listening online right now, you want to go to lancewallnau.com/8keys. We're going to be breaking this up into 3 separate products shortly. Right now, I'm putting all 3 together, and it's going to be probably, this was originally priced at $147. And then when I looked at it, I thought, we're probably not valuing it the way we ought to. But right now, it's going to be available to you because I want to get this out for $97. Grab it. We're going to break it apart and probably, in short order, be making 3 separate products, like $97 products out of each of them. I want you to be able to get all 3 bundled together for the $97 special offer. Do it right now, lancewallnau.com/8keys. And I'll be talking to those of you that are going to take action on this in the near future. And I look forward to seeing you ascend the mountain and be preeminent in your field.